I would like to give the floor to one of my personal first teachers, one of the best English-speaking persons that I've met first in my life, and I'm sure for some of us also in here when we were studying English. I would like to give the floor to the illustrious Professor Uk Zanel Uchbaba.
Thank you very much. Dear leaders of the baby university cradling in the ancient city, kissing the Adriatic Sea. Dear honorable participants, I would like to bless you first in Albania, in Albanian, Tunja Tjeda. I really feel honored, emotional, and humble to be a part of your scientific wedding ceremony. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. My topic is language. I trust in God, I trust in language, and I trust in woman. These three constitute the triangle of the foundations upon which I have built my castle of love and knowledge. And there is nothing like sharing knowledge with another man like you. And I really thank God a lot for not enabling man to become the sole owner of knowledge, forcing us into battles that strengthen relations of love and respect among people. My approach today is mystic and poetic. The style is somewhat Socratic. First, to make you laugh, I love to just give a short test, and if anyone knows to find what I want you to find out, I would really love it. It's a short dialogue going between, it's a short dialogue involving three strangers. And the first one says, Alali Sera. The second one said, Alafi Chera. The third one said, Kurslali Sera Kulafi Chera. Now, let me start with my topic. Language is a sacred gift. A language is a mysterious substance we are conceived with in our mother's womb. At the beginning, it reveals itself in the shape of crying, which, regardless of changing later into transferable sound units, namely numbers and words, never leaves us in the lurch, sometimes because of our sheer happiness, sometimes because of our piercing sadness. So far, however, scientists have been unable to signify the constituents of crying, which more or less sounds like the speech of birds, of animals, and of plants. They also have failed to decode crying in semantic terms. Hence, the following questions arise automatically. Is crying a kind of speech? Does crying consist of words whose meanings are unidentifiable? Does crying convey particular thoughts and messages? Why can't our eyes catch crying? Does crying vary within the same man and from man to man? Why does crying remain unrepeatable? Why doesn't crying help human communication? Why can't crying be put to paper? Why is crying untranslatable? Why do we, despite our nationality or mother tongue, seem to produce the same crying patterns? Why are mouth and eyes simultaneous sources of crying? Why is crying accompanied with tears? What is the difference between us and animals concerning crying? Why didn't crying cease to exist after the birth of numbers and words? Why does the Bible say, first was the Word, instead of saying, first was, is, and will be crying? The key to open the gates of this daily caps got lost when we began to disdain, neglect, and disregard crying. Substantial pieces of evidence of human activity show that we have become masters of the art of causing crying. Language is a sacred gift because it consists of crying, numbers, and words. Because crying, numbers, and words are built up of sounds. Because sounds are the colors of the soul's light, namely of the mind's sun. Because language, spirit, and soul are inseparable parts of a single whole, which create one another successively, traveling back and forth from the sky to the body and vice versa. Hence, the spirit contains the soul contains the language, and the language contains both the spirit and the soul. Hence, all breathing beings, be them humans, animals, or things, have their own individual languages. Hence, language is a living, fragile flower of unusual beauties and unrevealed secrets. Moreover, the sacredness of patterns exists only in the language. Any other work or activity related to human minds and hands excluded. Thus, for instance, we cannot produce a pair of ordinary shoes without taking the measure of food, without making the required mold, without having the required leather, without finding the required needle, thread, glue, and other necessary relevant raw materials. Then, what is the force that makes sounds stick together in each separate word? Why don't they fall apart? Why don't they scatter on the ground when they cross the threshold of our lips? Why don't they collide with one another? Why don't they get entangled? Why don't they stand in one another's way, creating traffic jams in our daily conversations? Why don't they break into pieces? Why don't they get wet? Why don't they stop moving in the air? Why do they always travel all over the universe at a fascinating speed, matching that of light? Why don't they get shot and killed by thunderbolts? Why don't they mix up with mists or clouds, or dust or dew, or rain or hail or snow, and return to the earth? Why can't they be caught by our eyes? Why can't they be touched by our hands? Why don't they enter the interlocutor's mouth or nose as flies do? Of course, the proponents of the belief that man is descendant of the ape cannot provide adequate answers to such questions. So, using words, and even worse, raping words to distort language intentionally or to ruin one's life is the deadliest sin, which leads to the destruction of the Creator's sanctified property. Additionally, one can come to the conclusion that the first musical instrument, the most perfect one, to say the least, is mouth. We can use mouth and nose to breathe in and out, yet we cannot use the latter to speak or sing. Language is a sacred gift because word has three souls. 1, the heavenly soul. 2, the human soul. 3, the semantic soul. They form a unified whole, melting into voice, their essence and their expression, which never dies or perishes. Thus, all words, these wonderful, heavenly, incredible, immortal, and flowing truths, live forever, flying simultaneously from mouth to mouth, and from mouth to space and paper. Otherwise, we would have become speechless. Language enables us to share knowledge in time and space. Language enables us to speak and shut up. Language enables us to laugh and weep. Language enables us to embrace love and hate, peace and war, freedom and oppression, friendship and hostility, progress and backwardness. Language enables us to translate ourselves into others as well as others into ourselves. Language enables perfection and mistake and fault. Thus, language enables both good and evil. Language is the flesh and blood of thought. Language is dynamic and static. Thus, no human activity can be performed without the help of an outside language. Language is the root, the tree, the branch, the leaf, the flower, the fruit, and the seed. Without language, there is no thought. Without thought, there is no communication. Without communication, there is no action. Without action, there is no life. Thus, language is life itself. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Oak, for that final and most decisive lecture regarding language, because I don't think there would be another thought about language. Now I would like to give the floor to one of the best supporters for raising the quality of this department through different master and also PhD qualifications, now being the head of the English Language Department at the University of Tirana. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Elida Tabako. Thank you.